Our time at exactly 11 minutes to 11. And, even though it's lockdown, we do have a lot of young people out there that are running so many projects, giving back to, the community, helping out in communities. And so every single week, I feel like, we should zoom in on these young people and, really just encourage others that, even though you are on lockdown, there are still things you can do together. I know a lot of young people for this time, when you're on lockdown, you can't hang out with your friends, you can't do so many things. And, if you're used to going to church, hanging out with people from church, you can't do that. No youth groups, nothing, no sports, no extra activities. And, sometimes that can lead to lots of mischief on the platforms that they can, the platforms that are available to them, and that's social media. So really, it's good to have, young people who are on these platforms, but instead doing good. And one such young person that I'm going to be having a chat with right now is Tadiwanashe Mkonto. And Tadiwanashe is actually the Deputy Headboy at St. George's. And, so much has been going on with St. George's because this year they have had a lot to celebrate. They're actually celebrating their 125th anniversary. That's 125 years of educating Zimbabweans. Isn't that something, right? So I have Tadiwanashe on the line right now. Hi, Tadiwa. How are you?
Good morning, Stations Musa. How are you?
I'm great. And how's school? How's online learning?
So far, so good. It's going all right so far.
Seriously, you don't miss your friends, asking questions. Oh, sometimes you may miss a point, and then you just ask the other guy.
It's true. I do miss it, and I miss sports a lot. I really miss sports.
Okay, what sports were you into?
I was into basketball and soccer.
Soccer? Oh, nice.
And basketball.
Oh, cool. So, which team do you support? Which teams do you support?
I support the LA Lakers and Manchester United.
Oh, okay. My son will be happy with that one. So now let's talk about this project. Now you and other students at St. George's, you have this project that you have been working on at St. Rupert Mayor Mission. How would you describe your experience at St. Rupert Mayor Mission?
Okay. I'd like to give some context first of all. So St. Rupert Mayor Mission is a high school. It's found in the Makonde Valley, about 80 kilometers past Chinhoyi. And I went there last year, 2020, with a friend of mine called Blessing. But the word I would use to describe it is hands-on. Because at first, Blessing and I, we were assigned to be assistant teachers for Form 1s and 2s. I was teaching combined science. Blessing was teaching English. And that was our primary task. Some things we also did were we learned how to cook and prepare and kill things like goats and chicken for supper and lunch.
Was it something you've done before? Had you ever been in such an area all your entire life?
Whenever I go to the village, I do occasionally get the chance to, but this time it was hands-on. It was all me and Blessing.
Wow, okay. And what else did you guys do?
We actually ended up teaching them how to play basketball because unfortunately the courts there are a bit dilapidated. So I brought my basketball and we started teaching the kids how to play. And I actually ended up leaving my basketball there because they fell in love with basketball.
Okay, I love the way you say we taught the kids. How old are you?
I'm 18 years old. The children were from Form 1 all the way to Form 6. So there were some younger than me, some were older. But I think sports brings everyone together.
It does.
And we played basketball together.
And what do you benefit from your residential service?
I'll speak about, so residential means we're staying there. So we were residing at the priest's house, Father Clement, and because it was so far from the outside world, every single moment was just service project. Fortunately, I think my phone died and this didn't bring a phone. So we're just zoned into service projects and we got to experience what they experienced. We ate the same food they ate and we just flowed with them. The same vibe, the same flow.
And what lessons did you walk away with?
I think this was the big one because for me, I can sum it up in 2 words: love and companionship. Towards the end of our 3.5 week stay there, Blessing and I started receiving numerous letters, amounting to about 20 letters from students where they thanked us and they just wished us all the very best. Most of them didn't want us to go. But one of the letters said something like this: "You left footprints in my heart, and I'll never forget you for that. So to me, it really immersed me because I noticed that I put a positive impact on someone else. And the fact that I touched someone's life really hit me hard because it doesn't matter our backgrounds. We all have different stories and we're all in different phases of life. But I believe that we can all impact someone positively to those around us just by being ourselves.
And, and this was a project that was put together by your school. And, St. George's this year celebrating 125 years. In your view, how important and how relevant are such projects and as part of the education culture at the school right now?
I think even though it's been 25 years for the service project, it's still as very much relevant now because the timing of it is perfect in my thinking. Because it happens just after your O-level exams before you go into AS. So you've matured to a standard and it allows you to grow as a person. You build confidence because you'll be doing activities such as teaching, helping the impaired, and you'll be committed to that service for a period of about 3.5 weeks, and you'll be conscious to what is going on around you. And I think the school motto is echoed throughout those 3.5 weeks, to be men and women for and with others.
If you're just tuning in, we are my station, your station, ZiFM Stereo, having a chat with student Tadiwanashe Mkonto, who is the deputy head at St. George's School. Now, today we're really talking about looking at ourselves in the mirror, and being really honest with ourselves. What lessons did you learn about yourself?
I learned that I can make a change. That's one thing I've always doubted about myself, mainly because I'm from a big family. But the fact that if I could make a change, then I'm sure everyone else in the world can make a change. And if we do want to change the world, it starts with each and every individual.
And you said there were two of you. You guys went there. Now, you said you've been to rural areas before. Have you ever interacted as much as you did, this time around when you do go with your family?
I believe it was different this time because I didn't know who I was going to see. Whenever I go to the village, I know I'm going to see my family. But this time, I was meeting new people, and it was definitely an experience.
Okay, and now congratulations to your school for their anniversary. And I understand that this year's theme is celebrating faith, family, and action. How do you relate to the idea of service projects?
I'll say the faith comes in when, before you go, you're believing that whatever lies ahead, that God will give you the strength to overcome that challenge. The family comes in with the bonds you create. And to me personally, I don't call them students or staff. I call them brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles. Because to me, we're all one family, and the bond I created with them is just something else. And the action, there's a teacher at our school who always says, service projects start the day they end. And at first, I didn't understand what he meant. But now it resonates well with me that the day I finished my service projects, that's when I had to ask myself, okay, what am I going to do now? What action am I going to do now to become a better person because of what I've experienced? And I think that's how the theme, faith, family, and action are portrayed.
Did it change the plans that you had for your future? What is it that you want to do after school?
Initially, I planned to become a rocket scientist and go into aerospace engineering. But I'm leaning now more on innovation engineering. This is where you find problems, you find solutions to problems that occur. So I'm planning to learn innovation engineering and come back to Zim and use what I've learned to come up with solutions to problems which we face in Zimbabwe.
Well done. That's exactly what we need. And Tadiwanashe, I know you've got classes, so I don't want to keep you away for too long. Now, you mentioned some letters that you received from the kids that you were interacting with and teaching. Had you received a letter before? Pachokwadi chaipo chaipo.
No, I'm not.
Are you guys gonna be writing each other letters? Is that what you're doing now?
I actually do keep in touch with a handful. We talk on social medias, and I think it really helps. But before, I had not received a letter before, not yet. So that's why it really touched me.
And, the beauty of letters is you're going to have that letter and, you will show it to your children and your children will show it to their grandchildren. And, that's the beauty of letters.
Exactly, definitely.
Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for having me, and I hope you have an amazing day.
I wish the same for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tadiwanashe Mkonto, and he's the St. George's College Deputy Headboy. And, you know, the hope is that this kind of, you know, conversation encourages and inspires, you know, other young people out there, and, you know, as well as teachers and headmasters out there, Kuti. You know, we do have a syllabus that we need to be following, but there are also other things that our children also need to learn so that they are better equipped for adulthood. You're listening to ZiFM Stereo. Check your time with ours. It's exactly 11 o'clock. It's time for the news.